Hello, everyone. We've got some breaking news right now. We've just learned that a Manhattan grand jury has indicted Daniel Penny, the 24-year-old former Marine who choked a man to death on a New York City subway train in May. Penny, who was initially arrested on manslaughter charges, has said that he and others were intimidated by the victim, Jordan Neely, a 30-year-old busker in New York City, and that Neely was threatening passengers, yelling in their faces. Police say Neely was harassing people and making threats, but he was not physically violent. That's the case. Neely did have a history of mental illness and homelessness. And this incident really has sparked protests in New York and other places. And Neely's family has called for Penny's arrest. So joining us now for more, ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer. Brian, what can you tell us about what the grand jury has done today in Manhattan?
So in Manhattan, a grand jury will review the information that the prosecution presents. It's typically 16 to 23 people in the grand jury, and they could come back with the exact same charges that were put before them, manslaughter in the second degree, or they could come back with higher or even lower charges. So the charges not being released quite yet is a big question mark. But a probably even bigger question mark is, did Daniel Penny testify in the grand jury? And if so, what did he say?
All right, so he was already charged with second-degree manslaughter. Is the grand jury an endorsement of that? Can they go higher? Can they go lower? How does that work?
Yeah, so manslaughter in the second degree in New York is what's called a Class C felony. You can do up to 15 years in jail. What it basically says in manslaughter in the second degree is you were reckless and you caused someone's death. You should have seen the signs or dangers and you ignored them. But if the grand jury, for example, believes that Daniel Penny intended to cause serious physical injury, like through a chokehold, and that person died, it can get elevated to manslaughter in the first degree, which is called a Class B felony. That bumps up his potential jail time. Or if they believe that he was trying to kill Jordan Neely, it could get upgraded to a murder in the second degree. It's really what they believed his intentions were, what his thoughts were, and the actual outcome of death could apply to different types of manslaughter or even very low-level murder.
All right, and Brian, finally, take a step back. The impact of this case on the community in New York City and beyond, this terribly tragic incident seen now through the eyes of the grand jury as a crime that's been committed, but it has a ramification far beyond the legal world.
Absolutely. The idea of safety in the subways is a big issue in New York City and probably every major city, I would argue, in North America, that's going now on during the pandemic and thereafter. And so I think when a lot of people hear about Jordan Neely and Daniel Penny, it goes beyond just the interaction of these two men. It's the idea of being safe in the subway, the ideas of mental health and potentially substance abuse in the subway, and how these two ideas and these themes kind of intersect, and asking the question, where is the line? Is the line stopping someone who's yelling at people in the subway? Is the line choking them? Is the line choking them past the point that they stop moving? Is the line you should just walk to a different car? It's a major question, especially in New York, because of fear and the perception and also the reality of what's going on in our subways, not only today, but in years past.
Exactly. Huge social implications here. Brian Buckmeyer, thank you. I want to bring in our senior investigative reporter, Aaron Katursky, who covers these matters for us. Aaron, what do you make of what the grand jury has done here?
The grand jury has returned the true bill today, Terry, after several weeks of hearing evidence after Daniel Penny was initially arrested on manslaughter charges, and we won't know what the charges the grand jury has handed up until Penny appears in court at a later date. But I think the Manhattan District Attorney's Office took a look at the case and saw that somebody was dead. If Jordan Neely died and there was someone responsible, and I think the charge of manslaughter reflects a belief that it wasn't intentional. Daniel Penny did not set out to kill Jordan Neely when they had the encounter on the subway, but felt apparently threatened or felt that other passengers were being threatened. That's how he sees it. But the district attorney seems to believe that you can't have vigilantism, and that there was perhaps been a different way to handle it And Terry, I think it was the duration of the chokehold that prosecutors made mention during Penny's initial appearance in court. The prosecutor said that it lasted, nearly 4 minutes. And you get the sense that by that time, Neely was already well subdued.
Aaron Katursky and Brian Buckmeyer, thank you very much for that. A very significant case in New York and beyond, and we will continue to follow this story as it develops. Thank you for streaming with us. I'm Terry Moran. ABC News Live is here for you anytime with the latest news, context, and analysis. You can always find us on Hulu, on Roku, on the ABC News app, and of course on abcnews.com. The news never stops.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.